Welcome back, everyone. We have Calvin Ruda here with us from West Wildlife Rehabilitation Center. Today, we aren't meeting animals, but we are talking about some cute little baby squirrels that they have at the center. So thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so tell us about these little baby squirrels that y'all have.
Yeah, so right now we're just coming into baby season, which is really kind of like that spring, early summer, you know, is where it kind of stretches into. And that's basically where just every animal starts to have babies pretty much at the same time. And the very first ones that come into our care usually are squirrels.
Okay.
They're the first ones that come in because squirrels usually have started their nests up. And you probably have seen this in trees or in like your side of your house, where if you have any seat cushions, they're probably pulling the stuffing out of that. They're pulling whatever they can find and stuffing it up there, and putting their babies up. And so we're just now receiving our very first kind of batches of those coming in to take care of.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And kind of tell us when, I know you said baby season starts now. Is there another point in time of the year, or is it just once a year?
No, it kind of stretches into a consistent point from now until kind of like up to late summer, depending upon the weather and everything else, right? It's going to depend largely upon when these animals feel comfortable going out, right? I mean, say for example, right now, we had that extreme freeze and then it was really nice out. And so the squirrels, lots of things who maybe were kind of cozied up, hiding out, decide to start coming out early. And all of a sudden you've got like baby squirrels coming out first. But some of the other critters you can see coming into like, you know, even July and August, where we'll still see babies coming into our care.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so as far as animal intake goes, I mean, I imagine it's a drastic increase than your typical.
Yes. So thankfully right now it's just a handful of baby squirrels that we're taking in. But it pretty quickly escalates, especially when you start talking about the birds coming in and everything else like that. You're talking, I want to say last year it was definitely in the double digits for raccoon babies. I want to say it was like 60 something.
Yeah.
Came through total. Squirrels, I don't even know how many we had.
Yeah.
Birds like the starlings, we usually have 100 plus come through every year.
Goodness.
And a lot of these critters, when they come through, it's especially when they're babies like this, they require constant care, constant supervision. Every hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, they're being fed and checked on. So that's including when you're in bed. You know, people will have to bring them home and put them in incubators and wake up to check on them and feed them consistently throughout the day and night when we get this many coming in.
And speaking of squirrels, we have a squirrel that loves to put acorns like in my front yard. Like, and I can't tell you how many times I went out there and found them, like, you know, kind of scattered all over the place. But when you're talking about feeding, especially like these baby squirrels, kind of talk about, you know, their feeding habits and kind of what goes into that.
Yeah, so the big thing is just like we would have for babies or something else, right? When they're first born, they're going to require milk, which obviously we can't directly, you know, provide. So we're going to give them supplement usually. Particularly with things like squirrels, they wean off their mother for about 10 weeks. So that's how long we're going to provide formula. And then they're ready to be independent about a week or two after that.
Wow.
So a lot of the times we, you know, towards the end of the care for certain animals, we'll start getting them associated with like providing them with real food sources they find in the wild, like seeds and nuts to kind of teach them what is edible.
Yeah.
But a lot of that's going to kind of come instinctually. Now, there are some other animals like possums who have a more varied diet, maybe come off of that milk sooner.
Yeah.
And so they'll be provided with like mealworms and other things, again, to teach them what they're supposed to be looking for out in the wild. But for the vast majority of that time, where it's going to be that kind of baby formula and kind of supplements to make sure that they're healthy, since they're not getting all of the nutrients they normally would get from mom.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I know it's difficult feeding a baby. I recently, like my 1-year-old.
Yeah.
But it's a tough task, and I can't imagine doing it for so many different babies.
Yes, and they are very fragile. Like, for example, possums in particular are really difficult because you can't even bottle feed them. You have to tube feed them because the nipples on a possum, they deposit the milk directly into the stomach of their babies. So it's a real process with some of these.
Man. Whew, that's different. Man, thanks so much. Welcome back, everybody. We're still here with Calvin from West Wildlife Rehabilitation. We're talking about some of the work that they do in the community. But real quick, I heard we got some pictures of these baby squirrels. So we definitely want to check these little dudes out.
So this is actually just a old collection of photos, partially, that are from a previous rescue, and this is a really important thing to note with squirrels, and this is true for a lot of animals. What you're looking at right now is actually where we had babies set up in a basket, where we had found them and taken them out, and mom had run off because, you know, there's so much noise and everything else going on. And what we do is that we put them in the basket and we put it away from other people, and mom will then show up and grab a hold of them and take them with her. And so this is actually where they came from. This is an engine block.
Oh, wow.
And this is what you see a lot of the times, especially if a car's been sitting for a while during the winter. You can see all that stuffing packed up in there. They love to do that and also tear out a whole bunch of wires and other important things in people's engines. And this is like, picture them in that basket. So this is just how small they are. And we will take them out. And that's the good thing, is that this is true for squirrels, it's true for bobcats, foxes, lots of other critters, where a lot of times we'll find babies, and the first thing we'll try and do is to leave them out basically for a day and keep them out, because mom a lot of the times will show back up and grab a hold of them and take them with her. Squirrels in particular, they usually have 3 or 4 nests already created and set up in case they need to evacuate one. So if you think of like a squirrel nest, if it's up in a tree or in the eave of your house or something and it gets cleared out or falls down, don't panic and immediately think like, you know, those babies are doomed. A lot of time mom will show back up and grab them and take care of them. Now a quick side note, the one exception to this is possums. Now, of course, when they're first born, they carry them around in the pouch, so that's not really a time when they have to worry about losing any. But whenever they're carrying them around on mom's back, if she drops one, she does not come back for one. So if you ever see a baby possum, that's gonna be a little bit different, and you're gonna wanna make sure, definitely give us a call. But are there any other kind of baby animal? Obviously, if you still see them out after a while, please give us a call. But otherwise, they're usually, mom's going to try and find them.
Absolutely. And of course, you mentioned with baby season, a lot of hands on deck for this one. So how can people volunteer with y'all, donate, support, all that good stuff?
I know, for example, I believe we have a Facebook page set up for it, and it'll definitely be announced on our own Facebook page and website and things. We're having a volunteer fair coming up pretty soon, so that people can come by and kind of hear what the work actually entails and kind of get a feel for that, and maybe get a chance to come out and try their hand at it out at the center. Obviously, we also, especially during baby season, different donations. Whether that's money or this kind of supplies that we need to take care of these kind of animals, are always super appreciated, and they go a really long way when you're dealing with this many animals.
Absolutely.
Man, because y'all have a lot of animals out there.